Good evening. Would everyone please rise? We'll be led in prayer by President Pro Tem Joe DeLucia.
Almighty God, we ask for your blessing upon the members of this council as we assemble here in this chamber to conduct the ongoing business of our city. With your guidance, we will strive to ensure that all our decisions are for the common good, and your inspiration will instill respect, compassion, and thoughtfulness in all our deliberations. Give us the strength and wisdom to lead by example as the people's representatives, and that peace and harmony will mark all of our proceedings, and keep us faithful to the trust placed in us by the citizens of your community. Amen.
Amen.
Alderman Nash, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Address, Mayor Peter Albert Nystrom.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Good evening, everyone. At the start of a new year, it's always a good time to take stock and to look back and evaluate what has gone well and what could have gone better. It's also smart to look ahead at the opportunities to build on our successes and recommit to continuing the critical work of moving our city forward. This is the last time that I will provide a State of the City address as your mayor. It has been an honor and privilege to serve my community in this capacity. It has not always been easy or fun, but has always been an important and a rewarding endeavor and a worthwhile use of my talent and skills and time. And as I look around this room, I see so many people who I have truly enjoyed working with on projects big and small, things that have been successful, and some initiatives that didn't turn out as we had hoped. But I'd like to think of myself as a Norwich person through and through, a simple workhorse, not a show horse. And whenever I've been knocked down, I always get back up, just like our city always has and always will. Next January, I will no longer be the mayor of Norwich, but I fully intend to stay engaged as long as I have the energy and the will to offer my ideas, perspective, and experiences for the benefit of our city. And so, as we look back at what we have accomplished and where our city is, I am more optimistic and hopeful than I have ever been in my tenure as a community leader. This is a very exciting time for our city in so many ways, big and small, across all parts of Norwich. I do not know of any time in the long and proud history of our great city where there's been as much economic and community development taking place, with even more and bigger things on the horizon. It is not a stretch by any means to refer to this point in time as when Norwich starts to be recognized as the revitalized Rose of New England. Please consider the following. Our former YMCA building is coming back to life, and after far too long, it will soon be the home of a successful regional business, Modern Construction, and that property is in private hands as we speak. Directly across the street, the Hotel Callista has revived the former Elks building and is welcoming visitors to Norwich, and they're bringing their investments here and spending their money. Further down Main Street, the Reed and Hughes project is moving forward with each passing month. For years, the revitalization of this grand old building had been an aspiration. Well, today, it is now a reality. By the way, all these properties are now taxable, something that wasn't the case in the past. More and more apartments will be occupied toward the end of Main Street, bringing more economic activity to our downtown. Our marina and adjacent area, the crown jewel of Norwich, will be coming to life as a result of the hard work of so many people in our community. Again, more activity and jobs and money being spent in the center of our city. All of these are possibilities under the leadership of NCDC with the collective support of the council. Norwich Public Utilities wastewater treatment plant project, a $200 million investment, is the largest construction project in our city. It is more than a year into construction. When complete, this project will go a long, long way toward improving water quality in the Thames River and Long Island Sound. NPU is also investing millions of federal dollars to modernize its water and natural gas infrastructure that will benefit this community for generations to come. Again last year, with the leadership of NCDC, we secured more than $2.3 million in funding to assist the brownfield cleanup at the charter school. And recently, we also secured an additional $1.8 million that will help them repurpose an underutilized section of the property to expand the services that they provide to their students. Our Ockham Industrial Center will take a big step forward in 2025 as the work to bring utilities and roads into the property gets underway. Please recall that we received an $11.39 million state grant through the CIF program, Community Investment Fund, and that was largely in part to our state delegation, in particular State Senator Kathy Austin. This transformational opportunity has been a great collaboration with Norwich Public Utilities, providing early funding to NCDC to support the preliminary work in evaluating and eventually purchasing the property. We, the city, covered the third year of funding, and Senator Austin followed this effort with an additional $500,000 grant to help act as a bridge loan as we move forward to build that needed road. There will be a lot of wide open real estate that can suit the needs of a host of businesses, those that want to come here or those who are already here in Norwich who might expand. We're going to be aggressively marketing this property to companies who want to have their operations in brand new facilities right on Interstate 395 and served by Norwich Public Utilities. Our electric rates are 30% less or below investor-owned utilities. That's a real economic gain for those serving to come here and run businesses. And we will be building 4 new public schools that will meet the needs of thousands and thousands of children to come in the years ahead. None of these projects can or will happen overnight, and there will be inevitably be more difficult discussions and maybe even some more arguments. But I am hopeful as a council and as a community, we will be able to provide our residents with what they truly need. The facts speak for themselves. Our community has done an excellent job of taking advantage of the unprecedented investments being made by the federal and state governments. And we are so grateful for the time and effort of our legislators in Washington and Hartford who truly understand and appreciate the city of Norwich. At the same time, we have many challenges and obligations that must be addressed. Our ambitious school construction project will challenge our finances and our patience. The same can be said about the installation of the roundabouts on West Main Street. I can report that Kevin Brown and I, along with city departments, are working directly with businesses that are being affected due to the fact that their properties are being taken for this project. We need to continue to evaluate the finances and operations of our school system and find the financial and operational efficiencies that are needed. I am encouraged that the General Assembly is taking a closer look at the financial challenges in the educational systems of Connecticut cities. More resources for keeping our special education students in Norwich, instead of expensive and time-consuming out-of-district placements, is something we should all support and fight for. There must be a way to keep these kids in Norwich, and not in a van to some of the community for 90 minutes each way for 180 days, so that they can be educated and cared for. And then they can spend more time with their peers. It's better for the kids, and it's better for our community. The kids of Norwich need more and better after-school and summer resources. We simply cannot have our streets and neighborhoods deteriorate. The direct and indirect cost to our city will be devastating otherwise. We must work together, the council and the community, to continue the projects that are already underway while focusing on the long-term financial and tax consequences of our decisions. I am committed to making my last year as your mayor my most productive and collaborative year in public office, and I hope that my fellow councilors will join me in making this commitment. And finally, as I start my 12th year as your mayor, I am here to make a point of personal privilege. I would like to recognize a few of the pillars of our community who have worked tirelessly year after year to move our city forward. As the mayor of Norwich, I've always viewed myself as the quarterback of an outstanding team, one made up of many, many people that contribute individually and collectively to move our city forward. There's an old saying that it's amazing what can be accomplished when you don't care who gets the credit. And day after day, year after year, we are seeing that expression come to life across Norwich in terms of government, community, economic development, and social services. And while it's not always wise to single out individuals in a public speech, as this is my last State of the City address, I hope you will indulge me as I recognize the following pillars of our community. These individuals have gone above and beyond over and over again, making enormous impacts in Norwich for the betterment of our community, making our future more exciting, productive, brighter, and more compassionate. And so I'd like to recognize, first, Mr. Kevin Brown, the President and Executive Director of Norwich Community Development Corporation. NCDC has been around since 1963, which is a lot longer than some of the people even here tonight. And it is not an exaggeration to suggest that Kevin has transformed this critical organization with his ideas, enthusiasm, tenacity, relentless hard work, and results. He has been incredibly effective for our city, and we are very fortunate to call him a partner and a friend. Chris LaRose, General Manager, Norwich Public Utilities. Chris has enjoyed a very long and productive, successful career at NPU, working his way through a number of important roles in our hometown utility. And most importantly, he assumed the role of General Manager during a turbulent and challenging time for the organization and our city. He is leading NPU through an unprecedented level of activity and investment in its infrastructure, with numerous projects and initiatives that will benefit our community for generations to come. Jillian Corbin, the Executive Director of St. Vincent de Paul Place. It is not uncommon or inaccurate to hear some refer to Jillian as a walking saint. She and her outstanding team make an immeasurable impact on our community, year after year after year. Hundreds of thousands of hot meals provided to those in need every year. Hygiene bags, pet food bags, and anything else needed to meet the daily needs of men, women, and families that are struggling in our community and region. Tens of thousands of food pantry visits, literally tons and tons of food provided through the committed, compassionate work of hundreds of volunteers. And she does all of this with strength, grace, and good humor. Debbie Kievitz of the Norwich Bully Busters. The goal of this very special organization is to advocate for kids who are or who could be the victims of bullying in schools or anywhere in Norwich. Debbie and her team have provided countless kids with fun, interactive, and usually free programs throughout the year. Debbie has been a tireless ally of hundreds of Norwich kids. She does not, nor likely never will, know. I do not know if there is anyone with a bigger heart in the Rose City than Deb Kievitz. I'd like to point out that her efforts and work was acknowledged by the state legislature years ago when legislation was in fact adopted, recognizing the need to stop bullying and how to provide programs for the benefit of kids. Becca and Ray Alberts, the owners and operators of These Guys Brewing Company, have put their time, money, and energy, in addition to their blood, sweat, and tears, into one of the best restaurants and breweries in the region. They have been an incredible investment in our city, and we're excited to see their continued growth and success as they relocate to the marina. And as most of you are aware, that's not the only site where they're now operating a business. They're also on Church Street for a brewing and a canning facility for the manufacture of beer. And I also must point out that their partnership with Patrick and Brittany Dwyer and their decision a little over a year ago to become the operators of our marina, combined, these two couples have made that opportunity for investment to enrich our city and to bring that jewel back to life. And that is happening. That's in the works. And I want to extend my thanks to both these young couples for that. Angela Adams, Executive Director of the Greater Norwich Area Chamber. Last and certainly not least is the leader for an outstanding Chamber of Commerce. Angela has been an invaluable resource to so many businesses, big and small, that have come to or expanded in the city of Norwich. Through networking events, helpful seminars, marketing and sponsorship opportunities, Angela has a long-standing vested interest in the success of our businesses and our community every day. She also works with our veterans, and for her, I want to personally thank her for doing that. She helps them plan events. She helps them organize the Memorial Day Parade. That's not on the job description, but she's answering that call anyway. So thank you, Angela. These outstanding leaders have very different jobs and organizations and a wide range of perspectives and personalities. But they have so many things in common. They're each full of energy and optimism. They each enjoy working with and learning from others. They are always willing to go the extra mile whenever it's needed, and they also do a lot of things, often big things, without anyone knowing or without seeking any credit. All of them have my heartfelt thanks, appreciation, and admiration. I've always believed that humility and resilience are superpowers, and these outstanding people are living examples of that belief. I've worked long and hard over the course of my long career. Cumulatively 7 years on the council, 18 in the General Assembly, and at the end of this year, 12 as a mayor for my hometown. I will miss some of the things that go along with public service. The countless meetings and long hours, headaches, late nights, early mornings, community meetings, parades, door knocks, radio and newspaper interviews, but in the end, it's all worth it. I also want to point out, and this was not in my remarks, that we as a council and as a city have a large decision to make next fall in November, whether we have a new police station or not. Now, it's incumbent on the council, myself, city department heads working as one team to make sure we present an honest and fair assessment of need, as well as what it means if we do not have a new police station, because there is a negative aspect. This would be the third time if it goes to referendum this November. We clearly didn't do the job good enough 12 years ago in my first term as mayor, and I take responsibility for that, or it would have been done all those years ago. We tried recently in the near past. We have more work to do. That's what those two referendum defeats tell me. And I hope we all roll up our sleeves and work honestly and as hard as we can for the men and women in blue. We have a great police department. They deserve a better facility, and with a better facility, we can serve the people of Norwich better. One of the aspects of the bank, which we already took the step to purchase, to lock in a price, which was $800,000, they were looking at $1.6 million. So we cut that price in half. We must do the best job possible going forward between now and next November to ensure that that referendum has the best and fairest chance to pass. I also want to thank our city manager. John doesn't look for thanks. He doesn't look for acknowledgement. When we hired him, and his first day was February 4th, 2016, I believe, I knew we had a good financial manager for the city, one who would be an advocate for the people of Norwich, one who lives here in the city, is a taxpayer here. I know he personally has told me his intention, even when he retires, is to stay here. That's the kind of commitment you want in your employees. In closing, I am proud of the work that we have done together, and we've done a lot. We've taken risks. We took control of properties that in the past, prior councils, including ones that I served on, would not dare to do. But we did do that. That's why the Y is being developed. That's why the Reed and Hughes is being developed. That's why those apartments on Lower Main Street are being developed. And we need people living in downtown. That's answering those needs by getting those properties developed. And again, I'll repeat, they're on the tax rolls now. They were not. That's a gain for every taxpayer. And with that, I'll close, and thank you.
Proclamation, Senior Chief Hospital Corpsman Scott Eggert.
Thank you. The chief, Scott Eggert, had a fire call, which he and two of his members answered, otherwise he would be here today. I had the honor and privilege of presenting this proclamation at his retirement down at the Nautilus Museum in Groton recently. I'm going to read this for the public record only. Whereas Scott Eggert was born in August 1986 in Bad Axe, Michigan, that's not a misprint, and enlisted in the Navy in October 2004 and attended Hospital Corpsman A School in April 2005 and Field Medical Service School in September 2005, where Senior Chief Scott Eggert first tour was a 3D Medical Battalion, Camp Hansen, Okinawa, Japan. He deployed to Pakistan for humanitarian assistance in October 2005 and earned his Fleet Marine Force Warfare. Whereas Senior Chief Scott Eggert's leadership and expertise were recognized early in his career, advancing from the rank of Hospital Corpsman 3rd Class to Chief Petty Officer and then Senior Chief Petty Officer, reflecting his tireless commitment to his fellow sailors and Marines. Whereas Senior Chief Scott Eggert personal achievements and educational accomplishments, including earning a Bachelor of Health Sciences and Clinical Health Sciences from the George Washington University, and graduating from the Senior Enlisted Academy Class 205 Gray Group, exemplifying his commitment to both professional development and service excellence. Whereas Senior Chief Scott Eggert's service to our nation continued with outstanding leadership as Surface Force Independent Duty Corpsman, Submarine Independent Duty Corpsman Program Supervisor, and as the sole medical department representative aboard the USS South Dakota, when he ensured the health and readiness of the crew through every challenge. Where Senior Chief Eggert lives in Norwich and is married to Jessica, and they have 4 children, and he serves as the chief of the Ockham Fire Department. He's also an emergency medical service instructor, fire service instructor, American Red Cross instructor, and a fire apparatus driving instructor. Where Senior Chief Eggert's personal decorations and military awards, including the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, the Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal, Good Conduct Medal, Afghanistan Campaign Medal, Global War on Terrorism Exemplary Medal, Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, Humanitarian Service Medal, Military Outstanding Volunteer Service Medal, Overseas Service Ribbon, Non-Article NATO Medal, Navy Rifle Marksmanship Ribbon, Navy Pistol Marksmanship Medal, and various other unit awards. He also holds the 804G, 806R, and 8MTS, 825A, L03A, and 8C Navy Enlisted Classification Codes. Now therefore, I, Mayor Pierre Albert Nystrom, and Norwich City Council President Pro Tem Joseph A. DeLucia, to hereby proclaim and extend our deepest gratitude and respect to Senior Chief Hospital Corpsman Scott Eggert for his exceptional service, leadership, and commitment to the United States Navy, our nation, and the city of Norwich. His legacy of courage, integrity, and dedication to duty serves as an inspiration to us all. And that was dated on the 10th day of January, which was his retirement date. You don't realize what people do in their lives. This man was not looking for acknowledgement, but he certainly is deserving of it. He's dedicated his whole adult life up until this time in service. His actions are to continue as the chief of the Ockham Volunteer Fire Department. But having outstanding people like that in our community is worth noting, which is why we put this in the public record. Thank you.
Citizen comment, general, 30 minutes.
Thank you. Citizen comment, general, I declare open at this time. Jennifer Tyler.
So my name is Jennifer Tyler. I'm a resident of Art Space right over here. You can see it out the windows. I'm here to speak on devastating closure of our beloved gallery and also on the appalling conditions we tenants have been forced to endure since our current, and I have no other word for them, but slumlords purchased the building before the pandemic hit. If you could just indulge me for a moment, my daughter's at college in Boston, and I'd like to read an excerpt from one of the essays she wrote when applying, when the prompt was describing your home. In 2001, a community of artists formed in a building called Art Space. Without it, I wouldn't exist. My father was the first resident. My mother moved in shortly after. They grew up in the same town, attended the same school, and had some of the same friends, both Norwich, but never met until they fell in love at Art Space. I grew up hearing so many stories about it that it became a sort of mythical place. After my parents separated in 2016 and we left our house, they both moved back into the building in separate apartments, and I finally got to experience it for myself. The artists who still live here work together to keep that spirit that it was opened with alive. We have our own gallery and monthly exhibitions where I showed my work almost every month along with my parents and friends from the art community. In addition to submitting art, I helped with the show and often had interesting and thought-provoking conversations with visitors. Artspace is more than just my home. Its community has supported me, deeply influenced my artistic perspective, fostered my creativity, and given me a place to express myself. Artspace is also the literal reason I exist. That's the end of my daughter's essay. So she's right, she wouldn't exist if not for Artspace. We both answered ads for a new building with live and work arts apartments back in 2001, back when you needed to submit a portfolio along with your application. And back when we had supportive owners and managers who would give us money to advertise our exhibits and give us money for our refreshments. It's not the way it is anymore. Now the owners are retaliatory, they have closed the gallery, and they are treating the tenants horribly. I agree with Mayor Nystrom, we need to have more apartments downtown, absolutely, but we need to have landlords who take care of those tenants. My own unit, I do not have a single appliance in my kitchen that works, not a sink, dishwasher, fridge, stove, or oven range hood. I don't have a working intercom buzzer. I don't have a working AC unit right now for heat. I don't have hot water. I have 8 windows in my apartment. 2 of them can open. And unfortunately, if you open them and then you close them, that you can't get them open again. So without heat, I have 2 windows in my apartment right now that are currently open. Otherwise, I won't be able to open them again. There are so many other things I have wrong. I have leaks on my ceiling at the top floor apartment, and I can go on and on.
Can we get your contact information, please?
Absolutely. My address is on the paper, and I would love to give it to you. Also, if anyone has any doubt with the veracity of my claims, I have everything because I kept it. They tried to illegally evict me. I won that settlement. It's been over 2.5 years. They still have not fulfilled the terms of that settlement in fixing the things in my apartment, and it's only gotten worse. So I have every documentation, anything you could need to see that what they're doing is wrong. Thank you very much for your time.
Follow through. Thank you. Susie Border?
I'm not a public speaker at all, but I'm also a resident of Art Space, and I wanted to bring to attention to the council.
Address, please.
Oh,
Yeah.
35 Chestnut Street.
Yep.
Thank you, Art Space. It'll be 10 years this year. On December 11th,
Excuse me, could you just state your name for the record so that it's recorded?
I see. My name is Susie Boda.
Thank you.
I wanted to bring attention to the council that the gallery has been abruptly shuttered. And December 11th, we experienced a theft of our stereo system. I was unable to reach management or owners about that. I had to file a police report and was handed several days later a notice without conversation, which I have here, just indicating that it was closed to be used as storage for their appliances and other maintenance materials. And I had 3 days to evacuate, which includes a baby grand piano, all of this artwork, sculptures. I wanted to bring this to your attention because, since 2019, with the exception of the pandemic years, that space, I believe so much in the mission. I believe that taxpayer dollars were part of its inception, in order for it to be formed here. I know there's a ballot vote. And it's a huge potential aspect of the culture and arts of downtown. I was recently approached just after this incident by the LaGrua Center, and Christopher Greenleaf, Royden Wilkinson wanted to have us take care of their 9-foot concert grand. They've lovingly restored from 1886, a beautiful piano, which would bring with it a network of world-class musicians, which would be just an incredible aspect of art which we don't have currently in the city. I'd love to invite all of you to see the beautiful gallery that we have. We've had such outstanding shows. They're just really remarkable. And I guess I would like some sort of help and perhaps persuading them to change their mind, because as an artist in this town, and that's why I live there. Also, it's affordable, and there are very few mixed income apartments downtown. And after 10 years, it's just, I still believe in it. I will not just let this happen. So I just thank you guys for listening. And I can certainly answer any questions anyone may have, but later. Thank you.
Thank you. Donna Dumfrey?
Hi, my name is Donna Dunphy. I'm here tonight to address the City Council about the untimely death of my 28-year-old son, Jacob Evans. On September 15th, 2024, at 7:01 p.m., my son knocked on the door of a business in town asking for a glass of water and help. The manager of the business immediately called 911 for an ambulance. Instead of getting an ambulance, my son was greeted by at least 3 Norwich Police Department officers. I have 3 official records that all state that this was a medical call. Upon arrival to the victim, my son was suffering a serious medical emergency. A report stated American Ambulance refused to call a medic. I have a report that states my son was the one who requested the ambulance. Advanced life support ambulance would not be called until 7:38 p.m. that night, 37 minutes after the original call for the ambulance. Upon arrival at the hospital, my son looked like he had been hit by a car. He was covered in blood and blunt force injuries all over his body. My son was not treated for a drug overdose on the scene, nor at the hospital. However, he was being treated for respiratory failure. He breathed in so much leaves and dirt and debris into his lungs, the entire back of his throat was caked in dirt. He was bronchoscopied 3 times to remove what they could from his lungs. Jacob died from these injuries 16 days later. The hospital was given the narrative that my son was found in the woods, face down for an unknown period of time. After obtaining the incident report from the police department, when I put in my records request on 9/23/24, it was clear that something was very inaccurate. The officer's description of the incident did not match what the hospital was told. I reached out to the police department. The responding officer never returned my call, pleading for answers, so I put a request in for the incident report. The 911 call, the camera footage from the restaurant, the body cam footage from all the officers, the dash cam footage, etc. I've never received these records. The transparency on your website said 3 days. I filed a complaint with the Norwich Police Department, and I sent a copy of this 3-page complaint to the mayor, along with photos. I called and left a message to the mayor. He does not return calls, nor does the police station. The case is under investigation by the Office of Inspector General. I am in possession of my son's clothes, his shoes, and a police baton that were left behind. I have several conflicting reports, including a heavily redacted police incident report. I have recently been told by Officer Chastain of reports that I'm no longer allowed to speak with anyone at the police department. This is a violation of my civil rights. I've been waiting 4 months for transparency for my son's last hour of life. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak at this time to non-agenda items, please?
Good evening. Larry Race, 41 Will Road, Norwich. First, thank you very much for your service, Mayor Nystrom. And that was a very good speech. The reason I'm here tonight is a woman yesterday and approximately 2 weeks ago called WICH, the radio station, and spoke on the Stu Breyer show. I believe she works at the soup kitchen. She was very upset with what's going on there with the homeless people. She complained that they were not allowed to get in until 9 o'clock at night, and they had to leave by 7 in the morning. I don't know if this is true or not. This is what she said on the radio. I have a thing for homeless people. They're not as lucky as you and I, some of them. This morning, the temperature at 7 o'clock was 3 degrees. I don't know, I don't think that's a good idea if it's happening that they get released at 7 o'clock in the morning. The coldest part of the day is between 6 and 8 o'clock in the morning. And tomorrow morning, it's going to be 0, and they're going to be forced out at 7 o'clock. She also complained that the soup kitchen had to stay open until 9 o'clock at night to accommodate these people so they weren't out in the cold until the homeless shelter opened up. I've been reading articles in the paper for the last couple of weeks, TVCCA begging for more money from the citizens of Norwich and the community, and not enough room in the homeless center. I guess there was 25 people in the homeless center here in Norwich on Main Street, and the fire department had to throw some out and said there was only room for 16. I don't know if that's true or not. I guess you'd have to ask the fire chief. He's here tonight. But I'm not blaming you at all for this. I'm just telling you that these are people that are not as fortunate as you and I. And I'm asking you and the city manager, I don't care if the state doesn't give you any money and the federal government doesn't give you any money. Find some money in the budget somehow in Norwich and help these poor people that don't have a place to stay at night. I don't care how you get the money, take it out of the budget, and I'm sure Mr. Solomon is able to do that with you people. This is not good. This is not a good scene for Norwich, to have this happening to a few people. We only got maybe 70 or 80 people in Norwich that don't have a place to stay. And there's only 3 or 4 months of the year that we can help these people. It's going to be freezing all week, right through Sunday. And I imagine in February and March, it's going to be the same way. But this is not good. I don't like to hear these people on the radio talking about this and reading articles in the newspaper. It's not a good situation. So please, I'm begging you, find the money and help these people. One other thing. When you go home tonight, just think you got a nice 70-degree home that you're going to be going to and a nice warm bed to sleep in. These people don't have anything. They're asking to sleep on a cot with no pillows, no blankets, no nothing, a cot to sleep for a few hours until they get thrown out at 7 o'clock in the morning in 0-degree temperatures. Please, I'm begging you to take care of this, City Council. The city manager. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else like to address the council at this time? Non-agenda items. Anyone else on non-agenda items? Just a minute, Mrs. Philbrick. He was coming. Okay, Mrs. Philbrick.
Joanne Philbrick, Norwich Town. Tonight I have a prepared speech because I'm going to try and stay on track. In the 2 decades that I have been here, I have come to know, respect, and support a number of individuals. I have also been outspoken and critical. I do not view things through the same lens as a lot of other people. In the last week, we have had a murder, a stabbing, a bank robbery at gunpoint, numerous drug, weapon, motor vehicle arrests, and drug overdoses. My health is not well. I have to sit down.
Thank you. That's okay. Thank you. Pietro?
Good evening. Against my preference, against my will, I will give you my name and address. Pietro Rocchi Camardella, 79 Lambert Drive. I've been here I lived here for over 40 years. I'm gonna try to stay calm. On August 19th, I expressed the desire not to share the name because it's not constitutional. And I even shared the fact that it wasn't in your rules. On August 19th, the mayor said, well, it's just so it can get recorded. It's not constitutional. Fast forward the month later, the month later, and the month later. First it was Robert's rule, then it's a courtesy. On December 2nd, you all voted to put it in your rules, which proves the fact that it wasn't even in your rules on August 19th. I am so glad that the President of the United States yesterday reinstated the importance of freedom of speech. I have freedoms that none of you granted me. None of you. They're mine. My freedom, my liberties must not be infringed, ever. And you do that time and time again. Mr. Mayor, you called on a police officer to remove me because I wouldn't say my name and my address. It's unconstitutional. But on August 19th, it wasn't even in your rules. You are going beyond the rule of law. You are the law. You're supposed to be lawful. You're not. Therefore, I take the freedom to say that you're a bully and you're a tyrant, all of you. You're bullies and tyrant because you make we the people. As far as you're concerned, all I have to do is pay taxes. That's it. Then shut up. We have the right to express and redress our grievances. You're not granting me these rights. They are mine. And I will come here every month until God takes me back home and repeat this thing that you've done because none of you apologized. Especially the gentleman over there that gets in my face F words for no reason. An elected official effing words a citizen and a taxpayer. Shame on you. And next month, I'll be back.
Thank you, sir. Anyone like to address the council on non-agenda items at this time? Please.
Rodney Boyd, 62 Roosevelt Avenue. I've been a landlord in this city for 65 years. I own quite a few properties. I maintain them in good shape. I'd like the city to do the same thing. Now, one of the things the city has to do is keep the taxes low. Now, I don't expect the city to go out and build things. I want them to stay out of the real estate business. Last month, the NCDC got the Norwich Hospital property. I spoke against getting that about 25, 30 years ago to NCDC, not the city council. That property is like a boat on the ocean, something to put money into. Now, I do own several properties, not just 1, 2, or 3, 6. And I keep them quite decent. People get a decent rent, and they get a decent landlord. During the president's speech, I was crawling under a kitchen floor in a crawl space 30 feet in to fix a drain line. Now, I expect the city to do a little crawling too. These roundabouts that they're talking about, I wish they had never proposed them. I don't know why the city agreed to maintain the outskirts of the roundabouts, but they did. I had someone from the city many years ago tell me that I couldn't put your signs up alongside the road because it belonged to the state. 20 feet away from the road belonged to the state. Well, I was just thinking, well, if it's 20 feet and they can't put a sign out there, let them maintain it. I think it's kind of foolish to do the runabouts because there's a lot of traffic going down that area. They do have accidents, but that's on account of stupidity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone like to address the council on non-agenda items in the time remaining at this point? Anyone like to address the council in the time remaining at this point? And wish to address the council on non-agenda items at this time? Seeing no one else, I then declare it closed. Thank you.
Petitions and communications was supposed to be an audit report from Clifton Larson, who had to postpone. They will be here in February.
Thank you.
Next is city manager's report.
Thank you. This is the city manager's report for January 21st, 2025. Meetings attended were Southeastern Council of Governments meeting, Board of Directors meeting, Connecticut Conference of Municipalities, Legislative Committee, NCDC Executive Board of Directors meeting, NPU City Coordination meeting, CIF stakeholders, and NACP Martin Luther King luncheon. A goal-setting informational workshop is scheduled for Saturday, January 25th for the City Council and invited department heads. This will be an update for the council for their previous goals and accomplishments and to strategize for this year's upcoming budget season. The tax office is open for in-person payments and collection and has been steady for the January installment. The city's local box tax payments as of Friday, January 17th were 778 payments totaling $905,000. For your information and convenience, I'd like to recap how the Warming Center project has evolved. In November of 2024, the City of Norwich leadership met with members of organizations of the Coordinated Access Network, a statewide system in which collaborative case management for people experiencing homelessness is utilized. The goal of this meeting was to develop a plan for creating and managing an emergency-only, no-freeze warming center in Norwich. A site was identified, and TVCCA is managing the operations. The warming center is in the Buckingham Memorial Building at 307 Main Street, a building not owned but maintained at the expense of the city and opens on evenings when the governor declares a cold weather emergency. The maximum safe capacity is 16 clients and 2 staff members. In a coordinated effort with the Human Services, Police, Fire, and Public Works Department, the city put a plan in motion to open the Rose City Senior Center as an overflow shelter. Human Services arranged for the Senior Center bus to shuttle clients from Buckingham Building to the Senior Center with the help of Public Works and Police. Unfortunately, TVCCA was not able to staff this overflow shelter and choose instead to expend additional funds to put any overflow clients into a hotel for the night. The city will be providing a shuttle for those clients. Public Works has replaced the bulletin board at the Greenville Playground per the request of the Greenville Neighborhood Revitalization Zone, NRZ. Remember that the Connecticut Department of Transportation will hold a public meeting at City Hall, room 335, on January 22nd from 6 to 8 p.m. for their statewide active transportation plan. The state has held 4 of the 6 meetings scheduled. For more information about the open house, CT DOT's active transportation strategy and ways to provide comments and ask questions, visit portal.ct.gov/dot/project/active transportation plan US.US. I have attached the city's departments and Otis Library reports for the quarter ending December 2024. And that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you, John. Are there questions at this time, the city manager? Seeing none, thank you.
You're welcome.
Citizen comment on resolutions on agenda items only.
Thank you. At this time, I declare the citizen comment on the agenda items to be open. Anyone wishing to address us on one of the 4 resolutions, we invite you to do so. Please state your name and address for the public record, since all items here are recorded. Anyone wishing to address the council on resolutions 1 through 4 at this time? Anyone wish to address the council on resolutions 1 through 4 at this time? Please, yeah.
Beryl Fishbone, 19 Bliss Place. I don't have a hard copy with me tonight, but I think Mohegan Park, you're looking at the dissolution of one of the strongest committees in the city. And it's not, I understand the difficulties of filling the committees. Honest, I do. Because you have to go through, in order to become a member of any of the committees or city committees, you have to fill out an application that's not quite designed for committee work. It's a great employment application, but as for committee work, not so much. And then you have the interview. And that can be terrifying, not just scary, but absolutely terrifying. And so people think, oh, well, I don't have, or some people find it terrifying, others find it, why do I have to do that? They know who I am. I don't need to show up. So they don't show up. so the space doesn't get filled properly through the course. But it's the importance of the committee that I'm looking at, that you're ending something. Mohegan Park is a very big part of the city. Its location, and very few places have a park that's that large and that has those kinds of services: playground, swim area, exercise areas, the disc golf. These are all very important parts of promoting our city, of the services that we have. And to say, those aren't important, they don't count, that's just the wrong thing to do. And you have to think about the future, not what's just today, but what is tomorrow. Are you saying that the voice of the residents and their active participation isn't important, doesn't need to be heard, they don't need to make suggestions, or they'll figure out the mysterious flow of information in this city? Who to contact, how to contact them, when and where to contact them. You have to imagine not just today, but you have to imagine for tomorrow. And I don't think that dissolving the committee is the way to do that. I think you need to keep an open door, that there is a voice of the residents within the government of the park and all of the parks and committees. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd also like to address the council at this time on resolutions before us. Anyone else to address this at this time on the resolutions before us? Anyone else at this time address the council on the resolutions before us? Seeing no one else, I declare that closed. Thank you.
Number 1, relative to appointing the accounting firm Clifton Larson Allen LLP to perform the regular general audit.
Thank you. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to bring it to the floor. Alderwoman Gould, second, please. Alderwoman Hayes. Is there discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. The resolution adopted. The vote is 7-0.
Number 2, relative to Bernard Caulfield being appointed as non-voting lifetime chairman emeritus of the Norwich Golf Course Authority.
Thank you. Motion, please, to bring it to the floor. Alderwoman Gould, second. Alderman Nash. Is there discussion? Alderman Bettencourt.
Just, as someone that's, played golf here for off and on for years and stuff, but Barney was one of those people that was always down there and out there early, helping out with stuff, doing whatever at the golf course as in his capacity as chairman and otherwise as a member of the group. But he was a tremendous asset to that course, I think. So personally, so I certainly would support this, but it goes without saying. Just wanted to say that.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate those kind comments. Is there further discussion? Alderwoman Gould.
I'm going to echo some of the comments from Alderman Bettencourt. Barney Caulfield has put his blood, sweat, and tears into that golf course. And I think honoring him by making him the chairman emeritus is a fitting tribute to his probably 30-plus years of dedication to making the Norwich Golf Course one of the nicest golf courses in the state of Connecticut. So I will be supporting this as well.
Thank you. Is there further discussion? President Pro Tem.
To echo what my colleagues on the council have said, it goes beyond Barney Caulfield and his time, although his time has been extensive and his effort has been it's easy to say Herculean, but he has, Alderwoman Gould is absolutely right. He has poured his blood, sweat, and tears and his time and his love into that golf course, and it goes deeper than that with his family. You know, from the time that the city became the owners of the golf course, there's been a Caulfield involved, from Barney's father, his brothers involved, himself, with, as we've noted. So, in individual conversations, we spoke about this, the mayor and I spoke about this, honor. This is just one way for us to honor Barney's dedication and effort over the years. You should know that he's been a member of the Golf Authority for decades, most recently as chairman. And we just felt that placing him in this role keeps him involved and honors him, but also looks forward to what has been built over there and the success that it's had, and maintaining that success and that growth and that love for this public entity and this public or city-owned asset that we cherish so much. Those of us who've been around for a while, and even those who haven't, we know that if not for the city taking action when Norwich Inn and the golf course were dissolved, right, this would not be the open space that it is. It would not be the recreational space that it is. It would be a housing development, or something would have been built on it. So the foresight that the people who came before us had to take it over and manage it as a golf course and create an authority that would have the autonomy to provide this asset to the city was forward-thinking at the time. We benefit from that now, and Barney and his family have been a big part of that their entire adult lives. So I thank him for his service. I hope to see him around the golf course from time to time, and to express my appreciation for all that he has done. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes?
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. The record, let it show that it's unanimous, 7-0.
Number 3, relative to the U.S. Department of Transportation seeking grant funding from RAISE to upgrade exit ramp 18.
Thank you. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to bring this to the floor. Alderwoman Gould, second. Alderman Singh. Just for the record, I believe this is our third attempt seeking to gain grants to rebuild exit 18 in the Ockham section of Norwich. Will also benefit the OIC, and that's what we're looking to adopt tonight. Thank you. Is there further comment? Alderman Singh.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I just want to request and urge my colleagues as well as the citizens of Norwich to please call your federal leaders and tell them we need this grant. It will be vital for economic development for our city and for the Ockham Industrial Center as well. And I can tell you from my experience, each and every calls really helps. So please do that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there further discussion at this time? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh? President Pro Tem DeLucia? Yes. Mayor Nystrom?
Yes, thank you. The resolution is adopted. The vote is 7-0.
Number 4, relative to the dissolution of Mohegan Park Advisory Committee.
Thank you. A motion, please, to bring this to the floor. Alderwoman Gould, second. Alderwoman Hayes. Is there discussion? Alderwoman Gould.
So I want to address some of the comments from Ms. Fishbone about dissolving this committee. Been sitting on the appoint, reappoint subcommittee for a long time. And it's really disappointing to hear that some people are frightened to come in front of us. Scary. We've tried to accommodate people. We do it over the telephone. We do it in person. This is not a grilling or we don't have a light in anybody's face. We just want to know why they want to serve. What's their interest in Mohegan Park or any other committee that they want to serve on? But for some time now, the Mohegan Park Improvement Committee has had a difficult time getting a quorum, which means nothing happens. And while I understand Barrow's love of Mohegan Park, because Barrow, Fishbone, and Mohegan Park are like peanut butter and jelly, toast and jam. I think the Public Works Committee will do a good job overseeing the park. People can come to the Public Works Committee. It's the third Monday at 4 o'clock on Clinton Avenue, and they can express their concerns about the park. They can call us. They can call us with suggestions about the park. So I don't think dissolving the committee doesn't mean that we don't want to hear about things that you'd like to see happen at the park or things that are happening at the park that need to be addressed. But we have to make sure that all of the things that we need to do keep moving along. So I think putting it under the purview of the Public Works and Capital Improvement Subcommittee makes perfect sense. Public Works is responsible for taking care of the park. They do an excellent job taking care of the gem in our city, and I'm sure that they will continue to do so. And certainly, at another time down the road, Barrels tomorrow, if we need to put an advisory committee back together again, we certainly can. This is not, okay, we did it and they're done and we'll never have them again. But right now, we need to keep things moving in the park, moving along. And I think the Public Works and Capital Improvement Subcommittee is the right place for this to go now. So if you're interested in Mohegan Park, it's the third Monday of the month, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, at the Public Works headquarters on Clinton Avenue. And we welcome you to come there with your concerns or comments about the park. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there further discussion? Alderman Betancourt.
I'll just say that, as Alderman Gould said, I mean, we do try to make the process as easy as possible. We do take, phone-in interviews, whatever, I try not to be too scary, but the fact of the matter is it is difficult to get volunteers in any committee, not just the Mohegan Park. I've served on that committee at least a couple times myself. I certainly enjoyed my experience there, and I thought the committee provided a valid function and had wonderful suggestions and a budget and worked within its means trying to make the park a better place. So I think the committee in and of itself had value. Now, I haven't been there lately, so in the last several years, so I don't know what things have been like. But in the past, I know that advisory committee had some value. But with that said, I also see a value in consolidating and reducing the number of boards, commissions, and committees that we do have in the city. So, and as Alderwoman Gould also said, if we take this action tonight, it doesn't necessarily have to be permanent. We could come back, in 6 months, a year, whatever, if we decided to we needed to reformulate it and rebuild it, and do that. I think that would be, doable, obviously. So I'll support this with some reluctance, but I think it's something we'll need to take an eye on, keep an eye on, because I have some concerns that obviously having a committee that just addresses Mohegan Park and that role, I think, is does have some value to the park. So, and that the appropriate amount of attention would be played on that, because it's a wonderful asset for the community, it really is, and the region, to be honest with you, because that park draws from all over. So, with that said, thank you.
Is there further comment at this time? Alderwoman Gould?
Just one more comment. I think we should thank all of the people for over the years who have served on this committee, who have done yeoman's work to see things happen in the park. So I'll speak for the whole council and say thank you very much for your time, your energy, and commitment to the park for the people who have previously served on it, and we welcome you to come to the Public Works meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Nash.
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes.
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould.
Yes.
Alderman Singh.
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia.
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom.
Yes. Thank you. The resolution is adopted. The vote is 7-0.
New business ordinance number 1, an ordinance regarding the prohibition of panhandling, solicitation, and other activities from locations deemed unsafe.
Thank you. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to bring this to the floor to raise for full public hearing, waive the text and reading at this time, and I believe the next meeting of the council, I believe, is February 3rd. Is there such a motion? Alderman Bettencourt, second. Alderman Nash. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash.
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes.
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould.
Yes.
Alderman Singh.
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia.
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom.
Yes. Thank you. The motion passed 7-0.
Motion to adjourn.
Adjourned by Alderwoman Gould, second by Alderman Nash. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash.
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes.
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould.
Yes.
Alderman Singh.
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia. Mayor Nystrom.
Yes. Thank you. The motion to adjourn is adopted 7-0.